Further discussion to the bill. Representative King.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We engage in a lot of reality denial sometimes at the legislature. Things like saying with a straight face that increasing taxes, or rather that decreasing taxes increases revenue, or that global warming is a hoax and a conspiracy. They're the kinds of things that make reasonable people think we have lost it up here on the Hill. This bill belongs in that category. I have 4 daughters, ages 24 through 14, so I think I've got some experience talking to them about the birds and the bees. Apparently, supporters of this bill think that parents do a good job of talking about sex with their children in the state of Utah currently. Really? Every supporter of this bill in this chamber can honestly say they've thoroughly, specifically, and accurately discussed the mechanics of sex with their 8, or their 10, or 12, or 14, or 16-year-old? Really? Because you know it's quite a different discussion with your 8-year-old girl than it is with your 14-year-old girl, or than it is with your 17-year-old girl. But we've all done that, right? Really? I know I had an in-depth discussion with each of my girls at different stages of their maturity about a variety of sexual matters that were appropriate for their age and circumstances. Not. I did not do that. I'd be very surprised if anyone in this chamber did that. They may believe they did that. They may claim they did that. I'd be surprised if they did that. Of course, the bill's supporters have the knowledge to comfortably and intelligently talk about such things as sexually transmitted diseases, the different methods of contraception, and the mental and emotional aspects of being sexually involved with someone at 13 years old, or 15 years old, or 18 years old. Right? Really? Because they've done that with their kids. Really? Well, truth be told, we never really get around to doing a very good job with this stuff, do we? After all, it's pretty uncomfortable. And with my girls, they're smart girls. They'll pick it up from somewhere. Not from me. Hard for me to think of anything that makes me more comfortable than the thought of sitting down and talking to those girls about contraception or sexually transmitted diseases. Anyway, if they don't know anything about contraception, it'll just make them more unlikely to engage in sexual behavior in the first place. Really? Really? Look, why don't we quit fooling ourselves? Why don't we face up to reality? Here's the truth, my colleagues. Despite the fervent desires of most of us that our sons and daughters live chaste lives until they get married, we know that many of them, maybe even most of them, are going to engage in sexual relationships before they get married. Those are the facts. We owe it to our kids, we owe it to their current and future partners to not stick our heads in the sand. We've heard talk about honesty in this debate. We've heard talk about being forthright. Well, we owe it to ourselves to be honest. Because in truth, few of us are up to the task of effectively teaching our kids, ourselves, the things they need to know about sex. So we owe it to them to authorize that information to be provided as part of a comprehensive sex education program in our public schools. I don't think that's asking for too much. And I think that we ought to be honest with ourselves about what this bill does. This bill deprives parents of the opportunity to have the public education system in the state of Utah teach their children about those things that they either don't want to, don't know about, or just won't, for whatever reason, teach their children. Under current law, parents have to opt in to these programs. If they don't opt in, the public education system under current law does not teach them any of these things that the bill sponsor and that the supporters of the bill are concerned about. Now, I recognize, I heard the bill sponsor, and I have great respect for our good representative from Holden. I heard him say that our children need to know that sex outside of marriage is devastating. You know what? I believe that. But there are a lot of my constituents who don't believe that. There are a lot of my constituents who believe that the most promising way to have a good relationship in the future is to have experience sexually with people before they get married. Now, is it my belief that that's true? No. Is it my prerogative, is it our prerogative as legislators to force our beliefs, the belief that was voiced by the bill sponsor, down the throats of the individuals in this state who happen to believe that maybe it's a good idea to have an opportunity to experience different partners before they get married? I don't think it's asking too much to allow current law to stay the same, that we give parents and their children the opportunity to opt into an accurate, comprehensive teaching of sex education in our schools. That's all we've got currently, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing that needs to be changed. We should not be forcing our ignorance or our fear and our future unintended pregnancies and our future sexually transmitted diseases onto the children of the state of Utah. And that's what we're doing if we vote for this bill. Thank you.